friends. This is Dr. Ganesh Lakshman again with you on Healthy Business Insights. Wonderful to be back with you all. And after having two rounds of insights from two great leaders from the industry, we're now traveling right across from India to borders, right up to a place called Melbourne in Australia, and where we'll be interacting with Mr. Pramod he is the co-founder and CEO of New Technologies. Well, over to you, Pramod. Welcome on board, Pramod. This is wonderful to have you here. Thank you for giving the time and sharing your business insights. And of course, we are looking forward to some lovely breakthroughs from you towards understanding global perspective, not just within India, but also the global perspective from you. Thank you, Pramod. Over to you, Pramod, please.
Thank you, Dr. Ganesh. It's a pleasure to be connected back again and be part of this session. Quick introduction for the audience here. As Dr. Ganesh introduced, my name is Pramod and I'm the CEO and the founder. We launched our platform called Connect to Live, which is a digital health platform in 2015. Primarily, we started with focusing on the telehealth side of things. And then over a period of time and experiences working with various healthcare providers across APAC and MEA region, the platform extended into other areas of community health, assisted telemedicine, telerehabilitation, and hence from Connect to My Doctor, it has evolved into Connect to Live. Prior to founding Neve Labs, I worked in the healthcare, media and beverages and telecom segment in Melbourne and Dubai and in India. My specializations are, my key forte is in the product development space, business development in, building teams and products around in the areas of, mobile, internet and digital health. I'm based out of Melbourne. I live here with my, wife and two kids. Yes, Dr. Ganesh.
Thank you so much for this fantastic introduction, and good to know about your wide spectrum of interest and places where you worked, and obviously technology being the core focus for you. So, having said that, I just want to understand, when you've been building your business as a founder of New Technologies, what are the three most important business principles which you have adopted in your company?
So I'm a first-time entrepreneur. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. So everything that we have, we've done and built is something that I've learned, in my career, and implemented that in the business here, and then continuously evolved and learned and things like that. So pinning down three will be difficult, but I will take a shot at it. The first and most important thing is for us is being innovative, and it sounds very cliched, but the whole objective being is to try and see how do we find smarter ways to do things, understand what clinicians and healthcare administrators have as a problem, and figure out what is the best way to do it, right? And it keeps evolving, and so there's no best one way at any point of time. So the idea is to keep growing and keep changing and then sharpening the tools as much as possible. The second most important thing is respect, from a perspective of respect to the customers, respect to team members, respect for yourself and people around you, with partners, with vendors, everybody. Now that helps us to, we are in an ecosystem today and we're very clear from the beginning that we're not trying to solve this problem on our own. And to do this along with people, we just need to try and understand each other and work together in that whole context. The third most important thing for me, and we follow, and it's non-compromisable, is ethics. There is a reason why we're doing what we're doing, and we're trying to clean up a lot of things. And being truthful to what we're doing is very important. So I value that, and that is probably non-compromisable in any form that we have. So these three things like I said, there are a few other principles as well, but if I have to look at, three most important things that in today's point of time, this is what I would shortlist as, Dr. Ganesh.
Good to hear that. I mean, something which rings to me or which is close to me is the word innovation, which you spoke about. And I believe the way forward is also all about innovations, in terms of how you're going to innovate the products, not just the products, also the services, how you're going to innovate your services to ensure that there is utmost satisfaction for the customer, and where you're also able to provide the quality healthcare, which is what we're all striving for. I just want to, when you spoke about your business, can you give us some insights in terms of what problem are you trying to solve, and where are you reaching right now? How big is the platform, and what kind of change are you trying to bring in the healthcare system?
So we started this, pretty much like, all startup founders, or majority of the startup founders have started a business because of a personal problem that they have faced. So in my context as well is very similar. We had a need to meet a medical specialist, and the wait periods here in Melbourne, it was around 3 to 4 months to meet a pediatric orthopedic. So the idea was to try and see that if there was an opportunity for me to connect with qualified specialists, make a payment, and have a professional conversation and not taking help and things like that, was the first starting point for this, right? And this is not just, so before we started, we also spoke to 100+ doctors to try and understand what their whole problems are, because we knew what we were going to get into was, we're not the first people to do it, but we wanted to figure out, if we were getting there, what kind of problems were the providers facing, and how can we address that gap. On the other side was also talking to patients, regular people, largely NRIs, who have access to doctors in India, and and they go back to them and spend a lot of time during their holidays and things like that. So accessibility was one key criteria that we were trying to address, and hence the reason to focus in the APAC and MEA as a region for the provider base. So the platform today, the way we address the market is in a B2B2C format. So we provide our services to healthcare providers. We white label the platform and give it to them. It goes, we are on the back of the entire the entire offering, and the healthcare providers in the front, and they're talking to their patients. So we started with this whole mission of enabling people to manage their health better. And in that particular scheme of things, connectivity and accessibility is what we are trying to solve. And so today, while we started off with the standard telemedicine, we have now extended that into remote patient monitoring, ability to connect with devices, looking at tele rehabilitation of figuring out how patients can look at movement as a medicine in their pathway of rehabilitation. So those are some of the areas. So primarily it is the accessibility part is what we are trying to address.
So what interests me is the last point which you mentioned in terms of rehabilitation. So I mean, in my experience, what I've seen is, I mean, through there is a lot of domestic tourism which happens. So people from rural areas, they're not able to get the proper quality treatment there, so they travel to cities. But the bigger, larger issue is when they go back, what is the rehab facilities which is there? So I guess I mean, if you're trying to develop something on rehab, that's going to be a really big change, a game changer. There are, of course, there are others who are there in the market who do provide tele rehab services. But I mean, there's a huge scope for it. I think that's, and rehab is required for various specialties, not just for ortho. It's required for all the specialties. So whether it's neuro or cardiac, whatever, it is required for sure. I think that's definitely of interest, great interest. Good point to have noted.
Just want to elaborate on that, Dr. Ganesh. So it's a very important area that you address, which is tele-rehabilitation. Globally, less than 30% of the people only complete their rehabilitation sessions. So, if there is a regime that has been recommended to the patient, they get a little all right, and then they just drop off in the session, right? And the way we are doing it is that from a tele-rehabilitation perspective, it is slightly different from telemedicine that we offer or telehealth. It is not about connecting with a therapist online, and it's not, the video part of it is not the only way. That is one of the ways of doing it. What we are doing from a platform perspective is that we are offering the physiotherapists and the rehabilitation specialists to recommend medicines or recommend their exercises online. The patients are able to capture these capture these treatments, whatever they're doing in terms of an exercise, and send it back to the physiotherapist remotely. So it's not through WhatsApp and personal emails and things like that. So the whole thing around compliance is taken care of. So, and they're able to monitor and then modify or make the changes. So there's a lot of MI and ML that is AI and ML that is included in the whole thing, and all this works requires your tablet or computer, and does not require an external device like in glasses and things like that.
Wonderful, great. I'm sure. So is this already live, or you're just going to?
It is already live. We this is live in the US right now, so we work with the US prison systems. It's live in Indonesia. In India, we're working with we're doing some POCs right now with Miyot Hospital in Chennai. We're doing some, we are almost in the process of signing an MOU with a large educational institution to do clinical research as well, to do India-specific clinical research. We've completed one in UAE with University of Sharjah, and this one will be along with this particular institution in South India, and has got presence all over, and is connected with one of the hospital chains as well. I'm not giving the name now because it's still not signed, but it is going to be multi-geography research work that we will do.
Fantastic. So are you focusing on specialties, or is it going to be one umbrella just catering to any kind of specialties?
From a rehabilitation perspective?
Yes.
It will be across. Anybody who needs those rehabilitation services, they will be it would be useful for them. But obviously orthopedic is one big area, so the whole MSK space is something that we would focus on. We are and this would be exactly rightly you said, from an rural area to come into to large cities, and from neighboring countries as well. You have a lot of patients coming from Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh. They get a surgery done, a knee replacement, and they go back, and then follow up to that, they don't do their rehabilitation exercises, and then when they come back for their follow-up visit, then they have those little knickknacks that are going on, which are not very helpful for them. The idea is to try and see how hospitals can go ahead and extend their proactively provide their facilities services to them, and in compliance with insurance, in all of those things as well. So at any point anybody asks, there is a list of exercises that has been recommended, and has been altered, and everything is based on feedback from the patients. So the way we're looking at is that we're looking at movement as a medicine. That's the way we are looking at it.
Lovely, good to hear that. And so just want to move forward now. Would like to know, what is your view in terms of what is one important point which you feel should be there for improving the quality of healthcare in India and globally? What are your views on that?
While there is a lot of hue and cry around digital health and all of those things, I have and I'm talking to a space which is very relevant to me, which is the whole telemedicine, telehealth, the connectivity, accessibility part of it, right? So currently I feel that it's being used as a fire extinguisher. So when there's fire, you use the extinguisher and you let the fire low. So pretty much like that. When there is COVID, telemedicine was used. When there was floods in Dubai, they were looking at using telemedicine because people were not able to go out. So so telemedicine or digital health tools or this whole accessibility part of it is not, the way I look at it, is not meant to be used when you only have a need. It has to be brought in the regular pathway of clinical delivery, right? So from my perspective, it is very so the whole COVID has changed the way people have been looking at telehealth, and it just now has to be brought into mainstream. People have to look at how doctors can spend time seeing more new patients and move a lot of follow-ups and things like that online and things of that kind. So from a delivery perspective, delivery of healthcare services, I feel digital health can be, way more adopted.
I completely agree on that, because it will just make the world smaller for us and give, healthcare can be accessible for even for the remotest of person anywhere in the world. I'm not just talking about India, anywhere in the world, it can be accessible. And providing quality healthcare is more important. So obviously, when it goes global, so you'll be you can access the best of the treatment, or at least consulting from anywhere across the world.
Yeah. And we are very glad that we've had now we've just recently signed up with CCDC, which is the Chronic Disease Care Center, which used to be part of PHFI. Where we are working with them and building a platform for assisted telemedicine, so that they can take this further to get it more and more closer to the patients, and they're able to provide these services remotely. So that's a very big move from what we've been doing. It's a huge learning curve for us, and we are very glad with this opportunity as well. So community health assisted telemedicine is a focus area for us right now.
Lovely, good to hear that. So as a closing note, I would like to know from you, what is your recommendation for other startups who are trying to build something in the healthcare space, whether it's in India or anywhere else? What do you, as a co-founder, as a founder for yourself, being a first generation entrepreneur, I'm sure you have something to say, something to talk to the budding startup founders.
Yeah, don't get discouraged by by people saying that this has already been done. There's always a better way to do it. And in healthcare, persistence is the only solution. So you just need to motivate yourself and keep at it. And I follow the Gita quite a bit. So just do what you have to do, and don't worry about the results. It'll come on its own.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Mr. Pramod. It was wonderful to have you here today. Great to have some insights from you on specifically on the telemedicine factor which you're developing. I'm sure you'll be going a long way here from here, especially in the rehab services, which I'm very keen to, which I'll keep a track of it and will be keen to understand more of it. Thank you so much, Mr. Pramod, once again for your time, and sincerely appreciate your being here and sharing your insights.
Thank you.